Welcome back to our 5th episode of On the Couch. I'm your host, Liam Leonardi. A big thanks to Brooke last week for covering for me and interviewing Liam Welby, an amazing job. On this week's episode, we'll be interviewing members of a Japanese tour. Let's hit the couch.
Your story, our story, on the couch.
Joined with us on the couch today, we have members of the 2019 Japan tour, and we're going to ask a few questions about their trip. And yeah, so let's get started. Alrighty, so what was the motive of this tour?
For students to better understand what everyday life is like for Japanese people and Japanese students.
Yeah.
But also, it is a study tour, so it gave them a chance to use their Japanese that they've learnt in classes in real life Japanese situations.
Okay, so how much of the knowledge and understanding would you have now known from that tour before going on this tour? Do you want to answer that one?
Quite a lot.
Quite a lot, yeah. What sort of things did you not know before going on the trip?
Well, with the tickets, buying and paying for tickets, and the Japan Rail Pass, and the subways, and train stations, yeah.
Yeah, and what about home life? What's home life like?
Home life was a bit stressful, but just general sentences and building up your knowledge and
Yeah.
using it just to like find out if you can help or how people are or if you can do this or that.
Fair enough. And how did you find communication?
I found it at times to be easy, and at other times it would be hard to like say to your host family, "Can I have a drink of water?" to "Can I go to sleep?" So it's the easy things that you would use every day to things that you wouldn't use much. So it was really good.
Yeah. And what a typical day in Japan, how is it different to our lives here in Australia? Anyone want to answer?
So in Japan, at school, instead of wearing your shoes, you would wear slides with your socks. So it's very different to Australia.
Yeah.
And they only have one lunch break each day,
And how long's that?
half an hour. So just our normal one break, except we have two, they have one. And at the end of the day, they clean up each room for a good half an hour to 40 minutes. And then as well as that, they also clean up other parts of the school. So it's really different to Australian schools.
Yeah, very different.
I think our students were really surprised to see that Japanese students were coming to school from about 7:30 to 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And then they'd be in class studying, and then the teacher would be arriving in the classroom from about 8:30 onwards.
Yeah.
And they had, they were focused on their studies. I think at times we were probably the loudest in the school, to be honest. School went often to a 7th period as well, so they'd be
so
finishing school
extra.
about 4:30.
Okay.
And then about 80% of the students actually did club activities as well.
So after.
Yeah, so you
school
find that
finish.
I reckon 80% of the students wouldn't be leaving school till about 5:36, sometimes later, every day.
Every day. And how did you find as a teacher going to this school, seeing all that? How did you find that?
Yeah, it was a really good experience.
Yeah.
I think the school was less reliant on technology. I think a lot of the students were reflecting on how lucky we were to have smart boards and whiteboards and Chromebooks.
Oh, so they don't use that kind of stuff there?
They had projectors.
Yeah.
And some of the rooms did have a TV, but it was one of those big old box
Like
TVs.
the box. Oh, yeah.
Kind of in the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was good. I think our students and the Takamizu students really put in a lot of effort to get to know each other.
Yeah.
Our students really rose to the occasion to practice their Japanese, and the Takamizu students were happy to practice their English as well.
Yes. Very interesting. Very interesting. And your experience, how would you rate it?
Out of
Out of
10?
10. Out of 10, yeah.
I'd give it 9.5.
9.5. Could
Yeah.
it go there again?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And what about you, Sir? What would you give it?
Probably a 9. I
Nine.
thought the students really loved it.
Yeah.
I think all up, the tour was including travel, was about 16 days. So I
Okay,
think
so it's a decent time.
by day 14 we were all very tired.
Ready to go home?
There's lots of walking, but the students, like, for every day was a new experience and new
Yeah.
adventure. So the students really love seeing a different aspect of Japan every day.
And what sort of things did you do during the day? Was there like itineraries planned for every day, or was it sort of like wake up and sort of, you know, vote for what you want to do? Like, what was the daily plan?
For the most part, our days were planned quite strictly.
Yeah.
We had things booked in place.
Is this prior to going on the trip?
Yeah, and I mean, I did spend the time talking to the year 9 and 10 students about, hey, we're thinking about doing this, what do you think?
Yeah.
Students got to have a look at, we started off in Osaka with Osaka Aquarium. Osaka
Okay.
Aquarium's got the second largest tank in the world. So the students were really happy to see that.
Yeah.
It was a really good experience seeing the host families. And we spent 5 days getting to know, as I said, how Japanese families live. And then we moved on to Hiroshima, where
Yeah.
the students sort of learnt more about the history of Japan.
Yeah.
Kyoto gave us a good opportunity to see a lot of different temples.
So it's sort of different everywhere you go.
Yeah, and then we
Yeah.
finished the tour with more fast pace,
Yeah.
the bright lights of Tokyo,
Yeah.
and the crown jewel probably being Tokyo Disneyland.
Very interesting. Sounds like a very jam-packed tour.
It was. I
Yeah.
don't think it was too much downtime.
Alrighty, now we're going to get on to a game. So are we ready to make some buzzers for this game? Yep, so we'll start with you. You want to give us your buzzer? Perfect. You, sir?
Yosh!
And at the end there?
Buzz.
Buzz. Alright, so the first question, what is the capital of Japan?
Buzz. Tokyo.
Perfect. Alright, second question. How do people greet each other in Japan? Yes?
By bowing.
Okay, correct. And lucky last question. Japan is located on which ocean? A, Indian Ocean. B, Arctic Ocean. 3, Atlantic Ocean. And last one, Pacific Ocean. Which one? Yes.
Pacific.
Yes, correct. Alrighty. Everyone got a point for that one. Thanks for joining us and giving us a bit of an insight on the tour. It looked very interesting. Definitely sounded interesting for sure. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
No problem.
Thanks.
Your story, our story on the couch.